You know, I had this really elaborate story of how I finally started using gyro aiming. I'll save you the boredom, but the basic gist is I bought Modern Warfare, used it with my Xbox controller, then I tried to play Escape from Tarkov with an Xbox controller. A fleeting and impossible task without aim assist. So I went on a mission to get used to analog sticks without aim assist, using Modern Warfare as a practice tool. And it failed miserably. So I switched back to the Steam controller and realized it was much easier to aim with it. Turned on the gyro and here we are. I am 100% Steam controller now. So getting used to the gyro. It clicked when I would aim down the sights and then use the gyro to aim and hone in on my target during the aiming down sights animation. Like in one smooth and quick motion. After that, I realized the gyro is basically aim assist, but you're doing it yourself. Get close with the trackpad, ADS, and gyro at the same time. It's pretty intuitive this way, at least for an X-stick user like myself.
I'm taking fire!
I molded this skill more by playing survival mode when that finally released on PC. More targets to hit, and they move around less. I suppose you could train yourself in any horde-style FPS game, but I really can't say too much about it because I've only been using the gyro for a few months. It's been long enough to where I'm comfortable playing any shooter with it. There's not really any specific settings that will get you used to it better. I personally like low acceleration on gyro, high smoothing, a little trigger, cold dampening. You gotta kinda experiment to find what feels right for you. But I do have a few other suggestions now that I'm comfortable with it.
Reloading! Reloading! I have...
Horizon Zero Dawn is a third-person action game that I started playing after I had my fill of Modern Warfare. I was actually pretty surprised at the Steam controller support it has. Your hints and glyphs and on-screen menu navigation buttons are all Steam controller ones, so it's one less hurdle, you know, when starting out playing a new game.
Take your bow.
Bow?
And enough muttering to that plaything.
As for the gyro on it, well, the game's main combat focus is hitting weak points. You remove parts and armor and weapons from enemies to change the way they combat you, so your shots have to be really precise. I love shooting the Ravagers' cannons off and then using it against them.
I'll take this.
If precise shots sound daunting to you, the game has a really great suite of tools to get you used to it. For one, it has an aim assist option that is one of the most forgiving I've ever seen. So you don't even have to use the gyro. I suggest if you're a new Steam controller user, play this way for a while. The game has a ton of content in the story alone that will naturally get you used to it. That's not including the hours and hours of side missions and challenges and just random stuff to do that will get you used to everything. Another thing that is great for gyro learning is one of the very first upgrades is focus shots. This slows down time while you're aiming for the first 5 seconds or so. That way you could really land those explosive canisters or hit eyes or any weak points. Trust me, you're going to need this upgrade anyway because some of the enemies are pretty fast and don't give you a lot of time when they do stop. So a really great feature to learn motion controls. Once you've gotten used to aiming and landing shots, turn off aim assist and the shots you land is super satisfying after this. You're the one in control. Aim Labs is a free download on Steam, and it has a ton of really great training sessions to practice your flicking and general aiming. It even keeps track of your stats and gives you AA options based on how good or bad you're doing. This is a great tool to get you even better at FPS games and for the Steam controller's gyro in general. The AI modes in the game always feels like it's pushing you just slightly above your skill level, sometimes frustratingly. My only complaint so far is that some of them sessions are too fast and too much. But for the games I play, that's understandable. Even Call of Duty doesn't feel like I need to be this fast and accurate. I get that the challenge is supposed to be hard, but I'm not planning on competing in FPS games with an esports twitchy flicking balls to the wall mentality. The only other thing I should mention is that while the game is actually really fun and competitive to play, it's actually really quite boring and dull to watch.
I'm a loser! I wish I was dead! Oh!
I have another option for you to check out that gives you nearly the same amount of challenge, but in a full game form. If you never heard of an on-rail shooter, they kind of harken back to the light gun era. There's not many of them, but they are super fun to play with the Steam controller's gyro.
Alright, any one of you that speaks a word of English, tell them loopy twins you work for that I'm here for what's mine.
Basically, the game controls all the characters' movement, so all you do is watch a story and shoot targets across the screen. Blue Estate is one I can't recommend enough for this. What the game throws at you is pretty comparable to what Aim Labs does, but you're shooting actual targets instead of blue balls.
Kill him!
It's like they built mooks into the walls.
The story is like mafia-style drama, but with ridiculous comedy mixed in. There's a 2-player mode, which I got excited about playing with my 9-year-old son until I played it more. And let's just say, yeah, not really geared towards children.
Whoa, whoa. What kind of freaky joint is this? This ain't natural.
The bosses are pretty challenging and all different. The game throws at you little mini games as you play, like shoot 'em all. That's kind of like Grid Shot and Aim Labs, or Shoot by Numbers, where you got to headshot targets in a specific order.
I'm gonna get hands on you, and then I'm gonna put feet on you.
The game also shows you which enemies on the screen are about to shoot you first by using these yellow circles that get smaller. So you get an idea of how to avoid getting shot by shooting these targets ASAP. And when you do beat the game once, you unlock the harder modes that make this actually quicker and enemies, more of them, shoot at you more.
Deal, man! What's all deal, man? Hey! You crazy, man!
So actually in this respect, sometimes it's harder than Aim Labs.
Well, hello.
My only real complaint is when you fire automatic weapons, the game doesn't let you move the cursor until you stop firing it. I mean, you get used to it after a while, but I definitely get more fluid gameplay from the pistols or shotgun. The game also has a bunch of gestures stuff, but I mean, if you set it up for the analog stick, it's easier to deal with. It's definitely more fun and intuitive to flick the controller in a direction it wants, but later on in the game, it actually combines this with a lot of other things like shooting and I just leave it on the stick.
Oof, smells like steamed vegetables in here.
Being as there's a ton of shooters to play, there's an endless amount of possibility with gyro aiming. Super intuitive to move the controller in a way that just feels like you're aiming something in the game instead of moving a cursor around. I know Nintendo has been doing motion controls for years, and I pretty much dismissed it as a gimmick. With the Steam controller, we can apply motion controls to every game, new and old, and it really creates a good spin on everything.
Hey, this is supposed to be a place for relaxation.
Psycho, man!
Ugh, this place is riding my last nerve.
Let me drink some coffee first.
Point pictures.